Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Is anybody as excited as I am that Dancing with the Stars is finally back? I know that like every season is a few months apart. It's not like it's one season per year. I feel like they have 2 or 3 seasons, but even that, I feel like the interim is such a drought because I enjoy that show so much that I am over the moon excited that it's back. I tend to catch it on Hulu the day after it airs because a lot of times I just don't have the time or forget that it's on, especially when it comes back on after being away for a while. And so I watched it the other day and I was like, yes, I forgot how much I missed this. So just a little side note. Anyways, that has nothing to do with the video. I just had to share my excitement. Today's review is going to be on the new Becca eyeshadow palette. This is the one that was exclusive to Sephora, or is exclusive to Sephora. It's called the Eye Lights Palette Après Ski Glow Collection. And so this released the same day as the Rouge Holiday Preview event, but it was online only. And as of right now, it looks like it's out of stock. It's really not. It just is that it has not released yet. Just in general, it hasn't released. They released it for the event online. I think it was on there for a couple of days. And then, of course, there are certain products that they take away. Well, they take away everything and then they start trickling it out as they have been doing. And this is one of the ones that hasn't made its way to a regular release yet, but I assume it's coming any day. So I wanted to review this for you so that you have an idea of what it is, of how it performs, of whether you should pick it up once it does release, because I've had quite a bit of time to play with it, work with it. I'm wearing it today. So let's jump into this review so that you can hear my thoughts, see swatches, and find out if this is for you. Okay, first off, the packaging is out of this world. I mean, this has got to be probably, it's like the best winter wonderland packaging. Look at this box. It is so, so pretty. It's like a silvery champagne color. It's got almost like icicles all around. It's very winter wonderland. What can I say? The back of the box, so it's just got that in the front. The back just has a description. It says, put your eyes in the spotlight with this limited edition palette. Reminiscent of our beloved Shimmering Skin Perfector pressed highlighter shade and formula, each shadow will perfectly illuminate your eyes. This exclusive palette features 6 shades in 2 luxe finishes, satin, matte, and metallic. Each shadow, okay, satin matte is one, and then metallic is the other. I'm like, that's 3. Okay, Michelle, let's move on. Each shadow allows you to dial up or down the lights to create a customized light effect for all skin tones. So that's the box. Let's get rid of that. Let's move on to the palette. This is what it looks like. I love that they mirrored the same look and effect of the box onto the palette. It's got this same kind of shade as far as like a champagne silver type. It's got the icicle pattern around. It says Becca on the front. The back does have pictures and names, and just like the description said, this is to basically coincide, mirror their Shimmering Skin Perfectors. So basically each one of these is their Shimmering Skin Perfector, but for the eyes, except for a couple of them. So Rose Quartz, Moonstone, Pearl, Opal, Topaz, those are all Shimmering Skin Perfectors, and then they've got a couple of them that are, I'm pretty sure, specific to this palette. Hot Cocoa and Toasted Marshmallow. Correct me if I'm wrong if they have come out with Shimmering Skin Perfectors in those shades. I highly doubt it because of the tone of the product. So you open this up and you've got a mirror that entirely covers the cover. And then right here you have got the 7 shades of product. So the first thing I'm going to point out is what was weird to me when I first opened it is why would they make such a big compact and then put such small little pans of product? It just doesn't make sense. I would have liked, this amount of product is completely fine with me. I just would have probably gone a little smaller. It's just a lot of plastic in between. I don't know. Seems like a lot of wasted space, but what do I know? So that's the first thought I had, but it is what it is. No big deal. I love the packaging, you know, and at the time was like, okay, I hope I love the product, and then I'm good to go. I don't care that there's all this space in here, but it's just something to note. Again, so these two shades right here, you've got a brown and kind of like a rusty color. I would highly doubt those have ever been shimmering skin perfectors. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being corrected. Guys, side note, I love makeup. I have been into makeup for years and years and years and years. I love doing it. If, you know, if a friend wants me to do her makeup, I have, you know, I'm all for that. So it's right up my alley. But I don't consider myself an expert. While I do know a lot of the tips and tricks, a lot of what I am still learning, a lot of what I have learned in the past is off of YouTube videos, is off of Googling, is off of just wanting to research and know how to do certain things. So I don't ever consider myself to be an expert, just so that, you know, everybody, just want to set the record straight there. So anyways, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't mind being corrected. The rest of them are the kind of the match up to the shimmering skin perfectors. So here's what this looks like. Again, I'm wearing it on my lids today. So let me start you out with swatches, and then we can go into thoughts and possibly comparisons to the face shimmering skin perfectors to see if they truly align or if they match up. Here are the first four, and they are Rose Quartz, Moonstone, Pearl, and Opal. Opal being, you know, their signature shade, probably what caused them to become so popular. So there is what those look like right there. Those are the first four, and they are the lightest of the four. And then we've got the remaining three in Hot Cocoa, Toasted Marshmallow, and Topaz. Those look like right there. So obviously Topaz I never purchased in the shimmering skin perfector. That would not have suited my skin tone. And again, these are the two I'm saying. I don't think those have ever been shimmering skin perfectors, but I could be wrong. I am wrong a lot of the time. My husband likes to remind me of that. So in fact, the only one I have that I would be able to compare to as far as the shimmering skin perfector is Opal. I do own Champagne Pop, but that obviously is not in here as part of an eye shadow. And so ironically, Moonstone I only have in the liquid form. I don't have in the pan form. And then of course Topaz being too dark, and then Pearl just not entirely, I think it might be a little too light. Actually, I think I do have Rose Quartz now that I think about it. Hang tight, let me grab that one. Okay, cool. I had actually forgotten that I do own Rose Quartz. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch Opal and Rose Quartz as far as the shimmering skin perfector. And then I'm going to also swatch side by side the eyeshadows so that we can see how they compare and if they really are kind of a matchup in shade or tone. Okay, here we go. So the very first swatch is Opal Shimmering Skin Perfector. The second is Opal Eyeshadow. So you can already tell Opal is a little bit deeper than the eyeshadow. So those really don't match up. I mean, I would say they're somewhat similar, obviously, but as far as them being exact, they are not. Now we go up to Rose Quartz. This first one is the Shimmering Skin Perfector, this second one being the eyeshadow, and those do match up a little bit more similarly. In fact, I think they're pretty much, I mean, they are almost identical. I feel like the eyeshadow has a little bit more of a metallic finish, but other than that, they are the same shade. However, again, Opal is not exactly the same shade. So that's what they look like side by side. Again, Shimmering Skin Perfector eyeshadow, Shimmering Skin Perfector eyeshadow. So that's what they look like. Now, let me zoom you in first, and then I'll jump you into thoughts. And the sun just hid behind a cloud, so that's probably why the lighting changed. Okay, so just going to let you know what I have on my lid. All over the lid I have, let me see because I don't even remember. Okay, so all over the lid I do have Opal. On the outside of my lid I have a mix of the two darker shades, which is the Toasted Marshmallow and the Hot Cocoa. So I have Opal all over. Right over here I have the mix of those two deeper shades. In my crease I have a Makeup Forever matte shadow because there were no mattes in this and it doesn't claim that it has matte, so I'm okay with that. And so I just, you know, dropped in another color from another eyeshadow palette. No big deal. So that's what that looks like right there on the lids. So let me start jumping you into thoughts. The first thing is that these do not have the same consistency that the Shimmering Skin Perfectors do. These are a little bit more dry. Not to say they are dry. They're a little more dry than the Shimmering Skin Perfectors. Or a little drier, I guess is the correct terminology. The Shimmering Skin Perfectors, as you well know, are so creamy. They're very, very buttery. They're soft to the touch. These are not like that. There's a little bit of stiffness in there. Maybe dry isn't even the right word. Maybe stiff is more the right word, but they don't have that same buttery texture that the Shimmering Skin Perfectors do. Now, that being said, there's a little bit of kick up. I don't hardly ever mention that when I talk about eyeshadows because to me that's not a big deal. I remember the Anastasia Subculture palette, that was everyone was so up in arms and angry about that, and I actually did not have as much of an issue as anybody else because I lightly dip into my eyeshadow palettes. I don't go to town as far as digging. Obviously, you'll want to use a flat shader brush when using these because this is something going to be more that you pack on your lid. You can also use your fingers because things or shades like this with this type of finish, they tend to show up a little more with the finger. I have used it both ways. I also, to let you know, applied this with a wet brush today, and so that's why it's got a little bit more intensity, is because I used it with a wet brush. Now, in giving you my thoughts, and I'm actually going to do another comparison for you here in just a second. In giving you my thoughts as far as it being a Dazzled or disappointed, it's a good palette if you want a natural look. For me, it was a disappointment because I expected it to be on the level as far as the Shimmering Skin Perfectors with intensity, and they just weren't. So as much as I used them, I was like, I want more of a glow, you know, I want more of a pop on the natural side, but more of a pop glowy look. And it was coming across as just kind of a sheer wash of color, a very subtle, natural look. Not that that's a bad thing. There's a lot of ladies who like that, and that's not a bad thing. It's just not my preference. So when I want to kick something up a notch, I apply it wet, and that's why I applied today's with a wet brush. Again, if you want a little more intensity than you would get with a brush, because a brush will sheer something out, even a lot of times, even if you pack it on, it's not going to pack on as intensely as if you use your finger. Now, the other palette that I have in which the intent, or I guess the theme, whatever it is, that it's supposed to be kind of like a highlight or glow for your eyes, is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3. So this particular one is, again, along those same lines. It's meant to be kind of a highlight or a glow for your eyes. This one I do use with my fingers, and this one gives me a crazy pop of glow, and this is what I expected from this. Because this didn't have the same intensity, this became kind of a disappointment for me, which is such a bummer because I love the packaging. Love, love, love. Yeah, I've told you time and time again that one of the main reasons I will pick up a product is because the packaging is either incredibly cute, really pretty, just packaging draws me in for whatever reason. So that's, you know, I thought this is just beautiful, and so if this is along the same lines as the Shimmering Skin Perfectors, then this is going to be amazing. And it wasn't what I really expected it to be. Now, that's not to say it's a bad palette. Just because I'm disappointed with it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that my expectations were on another level and this didn't come through in the way I expected it to. If you want a subtle look, a natural look, a somewhat glowy look, it does brighten up your eyes because of the shades and because of the finish. It's just not going to give you the same intensity as far as a glow as something like the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. So definitely so I don't think I mentioned price, it's $45. So it's definitely something that you really want to be able to have a natural illuminated look. If you're looking to spend $45 on a palette, because if not, if you're looking for high intensity, then I would say don't spend the $45 on this one. I would honestly suggest picking up this one, and I think this one might be $42. I'd have to look, but I love this palette. This was, the thing about it is I had no expectations when I got this because honestly, I just love the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea eyeshadows, and I knew that I had, you know, with having the other two, I knew I was going to pick this one up. Well, this one just laid the groundwork as far as expectations for something like this. So just guys, keep that in mind. Let me give you a couple of quick swatches of the Tarte, and then I'll put a couple of quick swatches of the Becca so that you can kind of see them side by side. Okay, so on camera it may even come across that they all look the same. I'm not sure. These first two are the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. These second two are the Becca palette. Now I will tell you, when I swatch them, the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea almost comes across as more of like a, the finish or the texture is more of like one of those gelée products, and the Becca are more the finely milled powder products. So it almost is like the Tarte has a little bit of a thicker consistency, which is so strange to say about an eyeshadow, but in essence that's what it feels like. And so that I think is maybe one of the main reasons why the Tarte are going to have more of an intensity as far as giving you that eye highlighted look than the Becca. Again though, not a bad palette, it's just that my expectations were that it was going to be like this, and it ended up not being, and it was just more of a natural look and not something that I typically go for. I love intensity, I love bold, I love pops of color, pops of even glow on my eyes, and so, but I have to say the packaging is on point. Love that. Very, very Christmassy. Okay, guys, I hope this has been helpful for you if you've kind of been wondering what this palette is all about, especially since they haven't yet released it on Sephora. So hopefully this helps make your decision on whether it's right for you or not. Again, I just want to stress that just because I was disappointed for certain reasons does not mean it's a bad palette. It actually is very good. It's just, you know, in my mind, I was thinking Tarte Rainforest of the Sea glow, and not so much with this one. But it truly is for a lot of you out there. So hopefully you found this helpful. I do need to give you the verse of the day before I let you go. And I may have already given you this verse, but I want to give it again just because the world is in such chaos that I hope it gives you inspiration. I hope it gives you hope. And it says Revelation 3:20, or it's from Revelation 3:20, and it says, Jesus said, "Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with him and he with me." So in essence, what that means is Jesus is standing at the door of your heart and knocking. If you don't already know him, he's such a gentleman, he would never force himself in. So it's just one of those things where you have to make the decision. If you don't already know Christ, you have to make the decision to open up your heart to him. I can honestly tell you it would be the very best decision of your life, because no one will give you more peace, hope, comfort, help you bear your burdens through this life, help give you peace through all the chaos that the world is going through. It's my hope and prayer that you open the door to him as he's knocking. And so guys, I hope you are having a wonderful day as something is flying around and distracting me. I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch this review. More reviews to come. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.